Hello, we are the online library system for the CS532 Software Engineering course at San Diego State University. The main purpose of the system is developing an online library system for the top-notch retirement community, supporting capabilities such as inventory management, inventory user interface, patron services web interface, reporting capabilities, and billing management. Our system is conformed by three main actors, which are the administrator, which can be understood as the manager of the system, the librarian and the staffs, which are responsible for report generation, billing management, and create inventory user interface. And lastly, there are the users of the system upon registration, which can search for items, determine its availability, and check out or hold the book based on its availability. This table shows the main roles and responsibilities for the team members. For the roles, we are following a regular structure for any software development company, where the project manager is on top of the different areas. Although for this project, we are implementing a more unified rule where everybody is working simultaneously and equally. For the responsibilities, we divided our system in three main areas, which first is the database design and implementation, second, the functional and integration testing, and lastly, the web design, which confirms the front-end and back-end development. The online library system for the Topnotch retirement community, the major concerns rely on agile and reliable web performance. For this reason, the discussion of the operating system for the web development ended in Windows 10 operating system. First, because the average experience of the team members regarding the operating system management is Windows 10 and previous versions. Its compatibility with most of the hardware systems out there gives us a strong argument in the selection. In addition, the number of tutorials and explanations out there for the Microsoft proposals is very big. At this point, we have solved the graphical, user interface, user interaction issues. Nonetheless, Windows systems are not well known for their client-server capabilities. On the other hand, Linux proposed an open-source, strong, and worldwide supported response. Among the main servers that run on the web to date, the majority of them run on a Linux environment, which demonstrates its reliability and robustness. That's why we are selecting Linux Mint 17.2 version. When we get to talk about web development, these programming languages come to play: PHP, JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, and CSS. For their integration, we're using the Dreamweaver IDE. Among the advantages that the usage of Linux will provide to our system, it is the integration of LAMP bundle, which confirms the Linux versions of the Apache server, MySQL database manager, and its integration through the web programming language PHP. For the overall development of the system, we'll be maintaining the master versions of our coding in two machines. One with the Windows 10 OS for the web development, and the second with the Linux OS for the server and database management. The online library system identifies itself to the ICSM common case of software-intensive application or system, following a plan-driven methodology for its development. The system will be internet-based, which means that staff management and user interaction will be performed remotely from different machines, uniquely accessing to our database structure, communicating through our servers. That said, there will exist only a version of the system that would be installed in our main computers. Consequently, the online library system do not require additional hardware rather than our own for its successful performance. The system will go through different phases and increments to complete all of the given requirements. Because the system will have different functionalities, we need a design that has the ability to connect them together. In addition, large database and systems like ours need the applying structure, component, and object-oriented methodologies. Moreover, the online library system is not focused on implementing the database but also other types of functions for the users. Therefore, information engineering is not adequate. All increment phases of the system will be moderated and made sure that they will work well together. Therefore, the plan-driven technique is needed for formal documentation and planning. Prototyping technique would make sure that the first complete system for one user is planned and usable for multiple users in the next delivered complete system. During the development phase, we would reuse existing sources to apply to our system. Also, there are multiple JAD sessions to discuss with the clients for updates, changes in requirements, and further planning. We cannot use agile techniques because the system will be used and updated constantly over time. Taking that in account, we have developed a software size estimate based on 5 developers that will work 3 hours per day and 4 days per week. Our estimation stated that we will be needing less than a year to accomplish this system, which is 11.2 months, and it will cost approximately 30,000 US dollars. We're willing to only code 5,500 source lines of code, from which 2,000 would be reusable code and 1,000 would be modified code. With our estimation, we have developed a project plan schedule, which we divided in 4 main areas, which are the analysis, the requirement specification, the notebook development, and the system development. The first three we have been working on those simultaneously in the past month, having the interviews with our clients and reviewing the requirements. The next step is the system development, which will be work simultaneously with other client meetings, but hopefully not too much as in the beginning. This is a graphical representation of how each step of our system is being developed one after the other, and approximately how much is taking us doing everything, and who is in charge of doing each one of the steps. That said, our estimation would be 144 labor hours per person, which gives us a total of 720 total hours of general work. Now we're gonna The online library system has been developed in order to fulfill the requirements specified by our client, supporting the following major capabilities: inventory management, inventory user interface, patron services web interface, reporting capabilities, and billing management. Among the outstanding functionalities of our system, we can recall the user friendliness, the quick response environment, and the easy to perform management of the overall online library tool. The performance requirements of the online library system are determined by the speed, security, and accuracy. All transactions interacting with the database shall be completed within 5 seconds. Database implementation and data backups shall be accomplished with a Linux system, which also supports the security of the system. All the user-related services like billing, payment, fine calculation, data check-in and check-out are performed with great accuracy to maintain the performance of the system. Now we're going to talk about the use cases of our system, which first there's the inventory management, which states that the system administrator has full access to the database and that person can add, edit, delete entries from the inventory. The next one is the inventory user interface, which states that authorized users, the system administrator, the head librarian, and the paid staff are allowed to enter new materials in a specific format and category, which will be recorded by the system. The billing management system consists in automatically sending reminders to the users if they still have items that they are not supposed to have. At the same time, this billing management system will have to generate the fine calculations for each person per day. The reports are going to be generated by users in the adequate position, and each of them shall have different information that is generated for the system database. This is for the managers of the system to keep track of what is happening to their systems and how the people is using the system. And lastly, we have the patron services, which include the searching, checking out of materials, and viewing the checked out materials. Patrons, volunteers, and paid staff can access the patron services. Patrons can create as well as access the patron records, and head librarian can access the patron records. Now, in summary, we counted 76 requirements, from which we just added one, and we couldn't delete any nor change any. Although we had that discussion with our clients, but we stuck with the original ones. And for those 76, we have selected 10 top level requirements which are directly related to the functionality and performance of our system. Now let's talk about the risks. The first risk that we found is the learning new programming languages. Not all the members of our team are familiarized with the tools that we're using, so that learning curve is taking us some more time that we should have. The next risk is the selected tools and programming languages should be compatible. Since we're working with two different operating systems, two main machines, the integration, we think it could be a bit risky, but still addressable since we have experts on both operating systems. Next risk is the customer adding new requirements as we proceed. We're generating backups of every code that we're going to write in order to be able to add or to modify anything that the client would like to. And the next risk is the proper backup of data. This is related to the database of the system that each day we have to keep track of everything that has been done. So at the end of the week and at the end of the month and at the end of the year, we can generate some charts and records of how the system is been performing. The next risk is the application compatible with different browsers and devices. This was one of our first risks when we talk about the development environment, and that's why we selected Windows 10 as our operating system for the web development. Next risk is providing response time in 5 seconds. This is going to be affordable, although the connection is the main responsible, the internet connection is the main responsible of this risk. So in general, we are supposed to be able to do that. And last, we have the number of multiple users to accommodate. As the Topnotch retirement community will be growing and growing, we are supposed to support that big number of people interacting with the system. So we are developing our system taking that in account. So, to conclude, the Topnotch requirement community will have their online library system working by this time next year, hopefully. And our client meetings are going to be periodically and simultaneously with the work. Thank you very much.